You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, presented by the Only One Media Group. This is the people's choice for quality interviews, celebrities and special guests. Hosted by Demetrius Dinny Reynolds. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813. For the complete archive of episodes, visit onlyonemediagroup.com and be sure to like us on Facebook at Vigilantes Radio. We welcome all. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds. Enjoy the show.
Oh yeah, there are about 28,000 of you guys on the line with us this afternoon. How are you guys doing? Oh my goodness, you're going to break the internet, but it's all good. We can house all of you guys here. So I got an email about what is goodness and life. Well, this is it. You have to give goodness to your life. Before you act, before you speak, ask yourself this: will it accomplish anything positive? And if you're on Facebook, you know there's a bunch of negativity on the walls, on the timeline. So a little positivity goes a long way, you know. It might feel good in a moment to criticize and bash somebody, and the other person might deserve it nonetheless. But will your criticism make a positive difference for anyone, or will it just be hurtful? It was like, okay, Dean, I like being petty. What about it? Well, you know, your time is precious. At least mine is. As you are in relationships and, you know, your resources, they're precious to you just like time. So I think you should invest them into what matters and in what moves your life forward. Just because you have the impulse and the opportunity to do something doesn't mean you must do it. Consider first, who will benefit, who will suffer, what will it accomplish. There are plenty of good, productive, helpful, nurturing choices in every moment. You don't always have to go with the first thing that comes to mind. Punch the guy in the nose. It's over with. You know, just sometimes you gotta, walk away. I know that sounds weird coming from me, but I don't know. We're in a new day and age where, there's so much hurt and negativity and wars. Who needs more, So keep your standards high by making sure what you do have a positive impact. Give goodness to life, and you can guarantee life will be good to you. Take it from Danny.
You're live in the mix. Let's get this started.
Yo, it feels so good to be back with you guys once again. So one time for my people who are indigos and starseeds, and 2 times for my people who are vegans. We are averaging over 34,000 plus listeners, and we've been at this for 3 solid years. I appreciate all you guys who've been rocking with the kid on this journey, and we're still growing, baby. It is all because of you, most definitely. We are the people who have dedicated their lives to music, spirituality, business, literature, art, movies, and research in every aspect. And we want to allow you an opportunity to tell your story. Man, we've had celebrities on the show, from Grammy Award-winning artists, nominees, to actors, comedians, CEOs, technology geniuses, visual artists, from authors to professors and aliens. Or people who think they're aliens. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. Come on our show and talk to me. So check it out. To book an interview or just to share a real cool story, email me at vradio@onlyonemediagroup.com. I'm passionate about what I do, just as passionate about what you do, and together, yes, together, we can get your voice heard by the people who should hear it. So let's create something incredible. And with that, hello out there, and welcome to another episode of our podcast, Vigilantes Radio. Thank you again, as always, for tuning in and being a part of our audience family. You know the number to dial. It's 701-801-9813 to connect with us or our guests, or you can hop in and mix directly from my website, which is onlyonemediagroup.com. Scroll over to the Vigilantes Radio tab and slap that Go Live button, and you'll be right here live in the mix with all of us or in the chat room. So feel free to shoot over some questions to ask our guests while they are here. And as always, all episodes are available for free download. You can grab that from Spreaker.com/only1mediagroup, iTunes, YouTube, the app called Podcast Addict, or over at our website. And that goes for every single episode that we've ever aired.
Like I mentioned, there are a little over 28,000 of you guys on today, and I don't want to keep you waiting any longer. So let's go ahead and dive deep into this interview, shall we? Well, today's interview is the Leo Wilde Interview. Yeah, and I'm your host, dini-mussolini. So I'm going to start this off by telling you guys a little story. Yeah, I know you guys like stories, so I'm going to do you a solid, right? Yeah. All right, so November 2016. Could have been October, but I'm sure it was November. Things went so fast. We had a blast. But anyway, I flew out to Cali to perform in my alternative rock experimental hip-hop duo, and you know us, No Longer the Hero. We were at Liquid Zoo for my good friend and crewmate AC Killer and Busy Bones album release party. So, get this, we're there just mingling and drinking, of course. Right there, a few acts went on before me, and there was this wild hair, light-skinned guy in a t-shirt. You know, he was getting ready to take the stage. I almost walked out, not on him, but I think one of our counterparts who was performing with us had showed up and wanted me to come outside and walk her in. And so so then the music cranked up as I was leaving out, and I heard the first note. I immediately turned around and got right back where I was, right there, front center. This guy was ripping the stage. I was so impressed with this music and performance, I forgot about my friend who was waiting for me outside. So, anyway, I did bring a friend in, don't worry about that. But when I got back home in Mississippi, I called up Lyric, a.k.a. Jarrell, for those who know him, who was there. And actually, me and him also performed the song that night. But anyway, so I asked Jarrell about this guy, and he's like, oh, that's I never can say this name right, but I think it's Lionel. I was like, okay. He's like, you don't know him? I was like, no, I had no clue, but I think I need to know this guy. So he gave me the guy's full name. So I did what everybody else do. Every human being does. I Facebook stalked him for a few days. So I sent him a request, and then I asked him to tag me in all of his music. Who does that? Well, I did that because, man, this guy was incredible, and you probably would have did the same thing I did, okay? So I've been hooked ever since, and I don't even think he knew who I really was or that I was Busy's right-hand business partner. Anyways, this is Leo Wilde. From what I gathered, his favorite color is purple. I think he likes boring. I'm not sure. We'll ask him, though. And he loves bending genres. Yeah, I don't know which genre to put him in. We have so many categories for the podcast. When I get ready to tag the show, I'll have to put him in every single genre just to make sure I cover it all. I am not kidding this guy. I think he can do it all. So this might just be the most personal, revealing interview we've ever had through Vigilantes Radio, going about our interviews and doing the research we feel is essential. It has certainly yielded some very emotional and captivating interviews in our past work. This one stands out to me for several reasons. And I'll just give you the main reason, and that is Leo Wilde is absolutely incredible and insightful. But I didn't anticipate that we would share so much in terms of our view on this matrix-style world that we have built upon planet Earth. While many of us can dwell in a negative aspect of this valley of malls, valley of short attention spans and fast clicks on the internet and intranet and deep web, whichever you're into, it's the society we live in. The advantage of truly seeing the matrix is knowing that it is there, and it allows you sometimes to see right through it. Leo Wilde is a perfect example of an act that can see through the matrix into the next level, that one beyond the matrix. You don't know what I'm talking about? Don't worry, we'll guide you there. We'll have an amazing time, talking to Leo, and I can assure you the conversation won't stop here, just at this interview. I'm an introvert, so I don't really talk much to people. This podcast is probably the most I'll ever talk in one day. Other than that, I'm usually quiet, observing. So I do encourage all you guys to stay the duration of the interview and listen on to the end, and you'll see what I mean. But for now, we can start at the true beginning. I'm leaving this interview as wide open as possible to help you see through the matrix a little bit more and understand that what we do and what we love about music and how much we love it at Vigilantes Radio are 100% authentic and real. So have a listen. I mean, if you got a brewski or your chai or tea, go ahead and get your sippage on, because that's what I'm doing. I have tea, not the brewski, but that's later. Okay. I just want to thank you guys once again, man. You guys are so faithful and loyal, for sticking around for Dini. And one more time, doing this with us today as we get this interview cranked up and ready to go. After watching everything that I've had and hearing from you, I could tell you, man, where he's at is right where I'm at, experiencing the standard definition of success and wondering, I don't know if he's wondering, but wondering, okay, are we doing these steps the right way? And sometimes, managing social media is just super tough because so many short attention spans. You got to stay on top of this, stay on top of that, but it's a job if it's your job or your love, your passion. So this is make it or break it time. I think we shall do this. So Leo and his team, they've taken a hit and some curveballs of life thrown his way. And it's his time to stand up and say enough is enough and continue to lead that life that he knows is meant for him to live. And I know and can tell you guys firsthand from other people that we've watched, that is watching you, Leo, it's not only me that you're inspiring through your performances and songs. You have captivated many with your talent. So be silent no more, my friend. It is time to set the record straight. Thank you again, dude. It really means the world to not only be talking to you, but to be talking to you at this particular point in your life. You have a positive impact on my journey in Cali, and I'll never be able to say thank you enough for what you've already done for me personally and my attitude towards live performances well before this interview ever took place. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome him to our show. Leo, you are live in the mix with all of us. How are you feeling and how is it going?
Yo, I'm good, man. What's good, man? You know what I'm saying? It's 10 a.m. over here on the West Coast, but it's all good, bright and early.
Man, as long as you have your coffee and your donuts or whatever you're into, Good.
Oh, so exactly.
Definitely, man.
So yeah, man, I'm happy to actually be here and be able to talk on this show and whatnot, and be able to give everybody a little insight, or if they're interested, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Like, a bunch of people showed up, so it can't be for me. It has to be for you.
For sure.
For sure. All right, man, let's go ahead and kick this thing off. So, Leo, you have joined the worldwide revolution of independent artists who believe they can do this without that industry machine in this day and age. So right off the bat, why is this, Leo? And this is not necessarily a bad thing, but why are you choosing to just go all out Leo?
Well, mainly because a lot of the times I've come in, because I've been doing this since I was 10 years old. So, and I went to a musicians institute, and it's kind of a story a little bit. So it kind of comes from when I went to school, because I met a lot of Grammy producers, a couple of audio engineers who worked with like old school rock bands, like Sting and AC/DC and shit like that. So mainly it was mainly seeing where they went, and then hearing the stories of them having to deal with labels, and seeing what actually goes on in the studio, like before the music is even made and after the music is made. It's really a process that the labels put on that I don't like, and a lot of the time publishers, they get final say. And I'm like, well, some other publisher might just stick me in the genre, and I don't like being stuck in a genre. Like, I like, because like you said, I was listening, that's like you were just saying, about the whole, like, you didn't know what genre to put me in and all of that. It's pretty much, a label will stick you in one, whichever one you do best, they'll stick you in it, and you have to wait before you, and I mean wait, goddammit. I mean, excuse my language, I'm sorry, but it's like, whoa. Okay, cool. But no, it's mainly the waiting game I didn't want to deal with, and I felt that if I had my own publishing and and release my own music and worried about my own manufacturing and all of that, I felt that I would not only save money, but I'd also be able to make the music that I'd want to without someone coming in and saying, hey, you can't say that. What do you mean? I'm writing my music, it's my song, it's a part of what I'm trying to say. Like, what do you mean I can't say that? I don't want to be told that. And it's not on some like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's my music. And I understand that some people won't like what I have to say. You know what I mean? But, I mean, we have Trump as president, so I really don't think anything I have to say will be anything nowhere near as bad as what that man has said or done. So I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, that's pretty much why. It was the whole, like, telling me, like, I just know what would happen from what I've been told, because I've met people who've been doing it for like 20 plus years, you know what I'm saying? And they've sold platinum records and all of this stuff and blah, blah, blah. And it's just the whole label thing and how it works. I just knew it wasn't for me, right. Just as far as just signing to a label just wasn't for me. You know what I mean? And especially nowadays, to get noticed, you got to have like a following already these days to get signed.
Yeah. And Drake once said, if you drop the wrong music video when you first come out, that's how they market you.
Yeah.
And that could just be one style, maybe just for a particular season, like it's summer. And so if you drop a beach record and it's your first time go around, that's what they're going to expect from you, later on, and all the records, like even with Bone, Crossroads. Like, the labels keep saying, all right, we need you to do another record like Crossroads. And it's like, come on, that was like 93, 94. We can't do that again.
Well, that's because it blew up. Yeah. You're absolutely right, though.
So, I admire what you're doing on your own. I think you're covering a lot of ground, like you said, saving money, and just basically recording and putting out the music you want to put out. And so mad props for that. All right, so how about those high notes you are hitting? That's impressive. Have you had any professional training in that aspect?
Not particularly. I didn't actually start trying like to actually hit a note until I was like 19. But I mean, I was going to the music school, you know, at that time, and I guess, you know, I just was walking down the hall and singing, and people were telling me I sounded, you know, good. So I was like, and I never tried to sing, you know, and just random people heard me. I wasn't trying to let them hear me, but they heard me. And, you know, they came up and they were like, you know, hey, man, you sound pretty damn good, dude. Like, what's going on? Like, you know, all like, you know, and it's just, I just kind of like delve into it more from there. And then I started rapping like, you know, a few years later. But my singing, there's no really professional training at all. It's just kind of like something that runs in my family. You know what I mean? I'm related to Tammy Terrell. Like this, like, you know, she's a cousin of mine, like distantly, like back in the day from, you know, because she did a song with Marvin Gaye, you know, ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no mountain enough. Yeah, I'm actually related to her. And so obviously singing or music itself runs in my family. And a lot of my cousins know how to sing. So it's just kind of like something, I guess, that kind of came naturally. I haven't had any real professional vocational training for any vocals or anything like that. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'd improve if I did, but no professional training. I know that was a long-winded answer.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Because I take it like you said, you started off first just singing and then rapping came later. Mm-hmm. Started at age 10. By 19, you were just walking down the hall singing, you know, whatever comes to mind. But, and between 19 and the age you are now, I assume that with every song has been like training for you. Each song just gets better and better and better.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what happens. That's pretty much why I released all that free music, the archives. It's a series of my old music that I've done from when I first started, like actually trying to record and sing and kind of rap a little bit, but it wasn't like nothing amazing, obviously. But I wanted to release it just to kind of show an improvement in like where I've taken my career. And if you listen from volume 1, which is like 17 songs. The first 2 volumes are 17, and the last one is 14 songs. But if you listen from volume 1 to volume 3, you can kind of hear my progression as an artist, you know, and all the way to the feature that I got with Lazy Bone. You know what I mean? And you can really hear the progression in that song, especially. And it's mainly because I was really nervous, and I kind of like spent a little more extra time on that, because that was literally my first time working with, I guess you could say, a famous person who knew what the hell they were doing. Yeah. So I was like, you know, it was really, and it was in a small studio or whatever, like a little tiny little room. You know what I'm saying? But he was willing to get in there and spit something, and it came out dope. I love the song.
How old is the song?
2012.
Cool.
I think is when I recorded it. Yeah, late 2012, like late in the year.
See, like, how am I just now hearing about you, though? You've been around since 2012.
Well, because, honestly, I guess I think you could call it self-neglect.
All right, let me ask you this. How long have you known AC Killer?
Well, I've known AC Killer since 2013. I met him. I met him in 2013 because Crazy Bone was having a session with Hines and shit, and I was just in there chilling. And then, you know, I didn't know it was AC Killer's house. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know it was his spot. So I was in there just chilling, chiefing, you know, we just vibing out. He was really recording some shit, so I was just chilling back. And then, you know, AC Killer comes up, and I finally met him. He was the, you know, owner of the house, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't even know. And he had all this cool ass like comic book shit and like artwork and shit all over the house. And I was like, I thought it was like dope as fuck to come into some shit like that because I'm a nerd, so
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. But yeah,
man, I'm gonna have to call him and like, yo, why you been keeping Leo hidden? No, seriously, I've known AC a long time, and this is like, wow, where this guy been? He's been holding back. So are you a part of the CNO? Or are you just a homie?
I guess you could say I'm the homie, but I'm for the whole movement and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like I try to stay up and see what they're doing and stuff. Cause I like his music, you know what I'm saying? I like AC Killer's music, so
Yeah.
So I listen to it, you know what I'm saying? I kind of keep up with the whole CNO Soldier movement, like all the people all over the place, loving the music, loving being part. It's like, it's kind of like an involvement with people who don't even do music, as well. And it seems like it's kind of like it's a community that he's created, and that's why I like it. You know what I mean? I like people who create communities that people can actually be real with each other and talk about shit and get to know, like, meet other people. Like, that's what he's done. And I like that. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty dope.
Definitely.
Kind of like a bridge.
Definitely. So I like to start when I discover new sounds and new artists. I like to start at their most recent work and then backpedal.
Mm-hmm.
So I was super grateful that you released the archive so I can actually, see your progression. And I started jamming some yesterday, and I'm sensing like the very hard work ethic in your products. But how would you describe it?
I would, as far as like my work ethic.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really say it's like, I mean, of course it's work and it takes time and you really got to sit here and but at the same time, it's like, it's not necessarily my work ethic. It's more so what I feel I need to, it's what I feel I need to do. And I like doing it so much that it don't feel like work. You know what I'm saying? None of it feels like work to me at all. It's all fun, and I think people have a real problem with that. Like, I know I'm about to veer off for a second, but it's just I run into a lot of people who have a problem with people who have fun while they do work. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, okay, what? I don't know why you mad. All right.
Right.
But anyway, yeah.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So how important, though, is the music that you make? How important is it to you personally?
It's very important. It's like a lot of the times it's what I'm thinking, and a lot of the times it's what I see a lot of other people thinking. So I like to make people think about themselves, and then I like to make them think about themselves, pretty much, because a lot of people these days, I run into a lot of people who are just, down and out, and, they're feeling like, like they have nothing to really feel like they're leveled with, you know what I mean? And that's why a lot of people go, they use like drugs or pharmaceuticals or antidepressants and stuff like that. And they think they need these things, but they don't. All they need is a little help or someone to, kind of give them perspective to where, oh, it's not so bad, or or something like, oh, I can deal with this, or something like that, along those lines. Just, I think people need more interaction and more help with actual people, as opposed to just drug their ass up and maybe they'll be able to deal with society. I'm like, wow, okay.
All right, so you're a gamer, right? What are you into, like Xbox, PS, PC, retro?
I'm into all of it. You know what I'm saying? I grew up playing, Blades of Steel and Ninja Gaiden on the Nintendo and Mario World and all that. And so I kind of started early. But I think in 1993, I think, we got our first computer up in this house, and that was it for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm mainly a PC gamer, so I put a lot of money in my rig, You know, so I like to play video games on the PC mainly because they look better every time, and they always play better. Like, you're not stuck on that 30 FPS. Like, because the consoles have a limit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of the games don't go past 30 frames, and a lot of the times that's a problem because it causes even more slowdown. You get frame drops, frame skips, and if you playing an online game like Grand Theft Auto, for example, it fucking does that a lot. And the consoles fall short because they're making these video games that look really good, but the consoles are literally barely able to play them. And that's the only thing that bugs me about the consoles. But I'm a PC guy. I mean, I'm a PC guy. I'm doing music for a video game and all of that stuff. So, yeah.
Dope
Stuff.
Yeah, speaking of that, you're a producer. You have a beat store on your website, leo-wilde-music.com.
Mm-hmm.
You're also a songwriter, singer, rapper. You're secretly Aquaman when you stand next to ocean. So what other musical aspirations do you have?
Well, I actually like, there was a time where I'm a big fan of okay, let's start here. I'm a big fan of musical compositions, you know, orchestrations, movie scoring and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I like people like Hans Zimmer and John Powell and Steve Jablonsky and those dudes who compose for movies. So in 2006, I went ahead and bought this plug-in from East West Sounds, and it's called Symphonic Orchestra. And what it was a bunch of high quality, and I didn't know this kind of crap existed. I just thought dudes were literally going in there with orchestras all the time again, still, and blah, blah, blah. Turns out they weren't. This plugin literally revolutionized the way people do movie scoring. And I decided to go ahead and get my hands on it. I bought it. It was like $500 back then. It's real cheap now, but it's like, it had real high quality strings, articulations from trills, runs, sustains, legatos, and all of that stuff. Like, everything for the brass and the woodwinds and the percussions, the piano. Like, it really had an orchestra at your fingertips. And my musical aspiration had become to do movie scoring or scoring of some sort thereof. And a friend of mine hit me up about this video game, this independent video game that he's doing. And he wanted me to do the music for it because, you know, he's heard some of my scoring before. And I actually would love to just make that a regular thing. Like, do scoring for movies and just to have my name pop up, like music, like, what does it say? Music. Oh, it would say music produced by Leo Wilde, like on the, you know, on the film credits in the beginning, and then this orchestra comes in and it does all this cool shit, and I do the music for it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just all of that cool shit. I think that's cool because people really involve themselves in movies a lot. And music is a big part of the emotional drive of a movie. It really is. And that's what I love about that too. And that's the aspiration of mine. Like, to just put my hands in every single genre and in every single stage of music that there is possible. I want to do that because I just love music. It's the only thing that I've kept doing my entire life. I've tried everything, like literally everything, and it's why I know how to do a lot of shit, and people get mad at me for it. Well, you want to do everything yourself. Like, no, I don't want to do everything myself. Not everything. I mean, just this.
Yeah, just this. Hey, I'm kind of in the same boat as you, except I really don't want to be the guy that, you know, do all the plugins or write the music. I just admire the work though. Like, even on Family Guy, like Walter Murphy and Ron Jones, man, their work is incredible.
Oh yeah. I love the music on Family Guy. That theme song just got me like, hey. And speaking of Walter Murphy, that dude has actually done some amazing scoring on Family Guy. Mm-hmm. Like, because I've watched it, you know, because I've been watched it on Netflix. And he's a lot of his musical compositions are like I'm just like, wow, dude, like it's really on some like, I know it's a comedy show and it's a cartoon, but at the same time, sometimes it really puts some he puts emotion into it. Like I know it's a comedy thing, but it's like when they want you to be serious, that guy he can take you there. I'm like, yeah. That's why I like the show is the music as well, you know.
Definitely. So like I'm 34, and in high school I was a band geek. So our director used to teach us how to write and play music, like, you know, notes and stuff, time signatures. So he used to compose all of our, you know, live band shows, all of our marching band shows, and he used to write this stuff out and then play the instrument. Like, he didn't have the plugins and, you know, that kind of stuff to buy, you know. I'm sure they were on the market, but our budget for our school was so low that, you know, he couldn't do all that. But he would, like, handwrite this stuff, and I was like, you know, I wanted to be a music director as well, but after seeing the work that he was doing, nah, no thanks. But then you're telling me there's this program that you can do all that in? Like, I didn't even know that. It's cool.
Yeah. It's what's called the Play Engine now. But it's something that they've been working on. It's just, they really improved it over the years now since they moved to the Play Engine. And I mean, you can check it out on soundsonline.com. They got a little producer cloud you can go to. And it's like $25 a month, and you have access to all of their the whole series that they released, including the symphonic orchestras, pianos, all the way to old school vibes and old school, the Moogers, the old shit. They got plugins for those and all kinds of shit that you can just mess with. Oh, he said it was cool.
Dope.
And that's really what's been helping my music a lot. You know, you don't have to just use them for compositions. You can put them in music too, and that's what I've been doing. And that's a lot of the reasons why my music sounds good is because I have a good sample library, and I choose to focus on quality as opposed to just, you know, this needs to get done. You know.
Okay, so can we assume that music composition may be your long-term career goal? Scoring? Yeah, it's like a long-term thing that I would love to do in the background, you know, because I can do it quickly and I can do it intimately without anybody, you know, and like by myself and intimately. I can just get there and do it, and I could probably knock out a score in a day for like a whole movie if I wanted to. I mean, I wouldn't do that obviously, but because I can make music so fast. On average, I can make a song in an hour and a half maybe, like from the beat to recording it and putting a rough mix on it. You know what I'm saying? I can do that in about an hour and a half. And it's because I have all this stuff here, like right here, access. I don't have to pay for it, like I said, you know. But yeah, long-term goal, movie scoring, it would be awesome, man. So, you know what I'm saying? I love movies in general, so. Dope. All right. So, the greatest of all time summer tape of 2016, it seems to sound like an overall concept to me, something existing between the two singles that you did drop in 2016 as well, that makes these songs cohesive and sound like they belong together. Was that the case, or, you know, two separate things that you tried to do?
Well, the original plan, plans change, obviously. It was more so. You're referring to Allegory, right? 'Cause that was the one I released. Or are you referring to my? Which singles are you referring to?
Yeah, Allegory was one, and the second was
it Make It Fast? That one, right?
Yep. One was released in the summer, and the other one was in the fall.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So those two things, the reason they sound like they go together is because they were supposed to go together. Allegory and Make It Fast were actually singles off were singles off of the album that I'm releasing. And, well, they were supposed to be. So that's kind of why they have like why they have cohesiveness. You know what I'm saying? So far apart. They were supposed to be on the album that I'm releasing, but I decided to just leave those as singles, you know, and then kind of just leave those there because too much time had passed and my vision had changed. And like I said, plans change, you know.
Yeah.
You know, the curveballs and all of that.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to figure out where the summer tape come into play at, because like you said, these were 2 songs that were supposed to be on the new album, right, that you're dropping.
Yeah.
So was like the summer tape just to set up for those singles, or
it was a setup. It was a setup for the type of. It was a setup for the type of music you would be hearing from me. It's like there you go, transition. It's like a transition type of thing. Mm-hmm. It's like if you listen to it, you know what I'm saying, from start to finish, you can kind of see I go impersonal to personal. From beginning to end, I kind of go impersonal to personal. Mm-hmm. And then I take stabs, I talk crap, I get emotional, I get almost depressive, I get contemplative. It kind of takes you on a roller coaster when you go through it. And it was a big concept because a lot of the times people kind of like, let me say this. I always got the question, like, what am I going to do? Mm-hmm. What do I want to do? Like, as an artist or as a musician, you know what I'm saying? Like, as an artist, what do I want to do? And I kept getting that question with all of this shit that I'm already doing and they're hearing, but I kept getting this same ass question. And I'm like, are you not? I felt like people weren't listening to what I was doing. And I decided to just like, as far as genres go, I decided to just call my music fusion. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, so I like dance music, I like rapping, I like singing. Hell, because of my woman, I even like country now. So it's like, I really don't want to constrain myself because music is music. And when you listen to country music, it's literally nothing but rap, but singing. You know what I'm saying? And it's these guys singing or doing some lyricism about, you know, what they do. And that's all music is. Music is supposed to be how you feel and what you know. It ain't supposed to be none of this other bull crap, you know what I'm saying, that motherfuckers are doing. I don't know what they're doing now, but anyway. At any rate, so I kind of lost myself there. Kind of veered off because I have so much to say, and I kind of don't want to like be too long-winded, and you know what I'm saying?
Oh man, you're the man of the hour.
Anyway, my apologies. It just comes from that process of what I did right there just comes from me never really having the center stage, never really being able to take off because, like I said, I've always had this moment of neglect, you know what I'm saying, where I just kind of neglect myself and do a lot of things for other people. And I found myself getting run down, and it slips up every now and again where I kind of just don't talk about me, or I just go too crazy about myself because I never talk about myself because no one ever wanted to hear about me. You know what I'm saying? They just wanted my beats and all of that and free this and free that. Man, it costs money to, you know what? It costs money.
Yeah, go get it out, bro.
I want to say something. It costs money to be an artist and try to get yourself on the radio. It costs money. That shit is not cheap. It costs money to become a famous artist, to go on world tours, to do all of this, to get promotions and marketing and PR and all of this stuff, to actually take off as an artist. It costs money, and it ain't exactly cheap, you know. And for the independent artist, it's a lot of the times it's hard because They don't have that money. They don't have, $5,000-$10,000 just laying around to throw at marketing and be like, hey, all right. They don't. A lot of times they don't have that. So what do? They end up doing all of this small stuff and get ignored and all of this stuff, and a lot of the dope artists slip through the cracks because people who do have the money, which is labels and all of that stuff, people who do have the money are spending it, while people who do have the talent and real work ethic and real music to listen to, they don't have that money. And a lot of the times I want to help them out because I feel bad. I feel bad, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm 29, nigga, I gotta make money.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I ain't getting no younger, bro. You know what I'm saying? I put money into my career. Yeah, it's only natural to want to get something out of it, you know what I mean? And I can still provide that. I mean, why not stimulate the economy at the same time? Because I'm just going to put my money back into my community anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things I want my music to do, like provide. I want to for example, I want to open up a studio in my hood and hire local kids and try to mentor them so they don't do stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Give them something else to do. If you want to influence on the street, I'll be influence on the street. Don't do that dumb shit. Come in here and do this. Apply yourself. This is fun. Trust me. You like music? Okay. Try this out. You know what I'm saying? And not every aspect of the music won't be for everybody. Some children, they might gravitate towards the marketing and street teams and all of this stuff. Some might be engineers, producers, artists. Some might just want to literally just write for people. It happens. You know what I mean? Not everybody's meant to be out there on that center stage, but everybody has their place.
Yeah.
And people need to, and I want to find a way so people can accept that. Like, yeah, you're not center stage, you're not famous, but you're a part of what's going on. Mm-hmm. You're the reason that this is happening. Your help is why this is happening, and you are an integral part. And a lot of times that gets lost in translation. Because, and that's how you get like fights and inner turmoil, and that's why small businesses don't work, because people don't be like motivating each other
mm-hmm.
to do better. And that's what I want to do. It's just one of those things. I'm tired because, see, my brother moved away. He moved to Orange County, and he ain't never came back. He hardly ever visits. You know what I'm saying? And it's just in Orange County. So I'm just sitting here like, why don't he want to come here? And every time it's, oh, someone's going to steal my car. Fuck, dude, really? You worried about? Like, look at all these nice-ass cars on the street now. Like, I'm trying to tell my brother that times have changed, and I want to speed that up. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that's really been inside of me. You know what I mean? I want to get my community involved. I've even written up community letters that I want to send out to people to try to get, to try to get some people to help and try to not invest necessarily, but help with the community instead of just sitting there and waiting for somebody else to do it. Because that's what people are doing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anyways.
That's a story everywhere, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Have you looked into the county, like giving you a grant for that?
Yes, I have actually, and I've actually seen a way to do it, and a grant is the way to go because you ain't got to pay that money back.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually looked into that, and I would be able to get that. You know what I'm saying? But I believe that a little bit of community support behind it would help me get it faster, because if it's wanted there, they'll put it there. You know what I mean? They ain't gonna have no choice but to allow it.
Right. Totally agree. All right. So, I mean, you said a mouthful about the hustle, really. The hustle, even of I know we all know the music industry is one big hustle, one big gangster movement. I mean, I come from corporate America, so you know the baddest gangsters are the ones who wear suits.
Oh, okay.
But the indie industry is so cutthroat, and it's like, like you said, man, like you want to do things for free because of the love, but then you're looking at your stack of bills, and it's like, well, something has to give. Either we go work a regular 9-to-5 job, you know, or we say, hey, let's take this passion of mine. I won't charge you full price, but you have to give me something for it. Something for my time and, you know, my efforts and energy, so I can pay these bills, feed these kids, do whatever else, you know, to continue living a life. And I don't think a lot of artists understand that, you know, the law has changed. Even if it's energy for energy or time for time or beats for lyrics or, you know, money for beats or money for a feature, I don't think people really consider, you know, the energy and time that, like, you and I put into things. So it's like, okay, I want $100 for this beat. Oh, man, that's too much. Well, I could have said 500 because I think it's worth, you know, actually more than 500. But I don't think, well, like you said, man, sometimes they don't have the money. But I look at it as, you know, what are your habits? What are your spending habits? Are you spending it on a carton a day? That could go towards beats, you know? That could go towards doing whatever it is to get your career to the next level.
Exactly.
And I don't believe in paying like $15,000 to jump on the airways of, you know, Hot 97. It'll be a cool look. But I'm more concerned about turning a head count into a dollar count. You know, I was telling this one guy, I'd rather be unknown and wealthy than famous and broke, like a lot of these rappers we see running around L.A., like running around my town, running around the world. That's not cool.
Exactly. And then people think, but see, people get under this impression. And see, that's what I'm talking about, impression. And that's why everyone's under this impression that all these dudes are loaded. I'm like, no. You know who's loaded? The motherfucker who gave you your check is loaded, bruh.
Yeah.
That's who's rich. Like,
exactly.
don't come at me with that. I know rich, bruh. Don't know. No. But at any rate, yeah. So yeah, I agree with that though. Yeah.
All right. Back to the music. All right. So you mentioned that your music genre is called fusion. That's what you call it. I think that is a great word for it. And I love what I'm listening to, but sometimes I have no clue which genre I'm listening to because there's a blend of this, a blend of that, a blend of this. So I don't even want to box you in a certain category. I don't want to call it R&B hip hop like they do Drake or, you know, somebody else who sings and rap. I think there's different elements and levels of all the genres that are mixed. Like you said, yours is fusion. That's cool. I think you just created something new there. The music is fantastically textured and just an incredible sound. Overall, right away from the production and the mix on the vocals, I can tell this is a very well-produced collection of tracks. Hell no. Sounds like it would be an incredible track to play live and one that could really get the crowd going. So I seen the version on SoundCloud and it said live, but there was a question mark. So how close is the live version to what we hear on the recording? Has it been performed live ever?
Well, I guess I should go ahead and. Well, I piqued your interest with that, and that was the point. I guess you could say it's not a live version. I've never performed this song live. It's actually what I wanted to do was put the illusion that I was performing live, and I went ahead. I just wanted to go ahead and show off my, I guess you could say my kind of my sound engineering skills. You know what I'm saying? Where I can take sounds and kind of like form an image with my audio. You know, like that's kind of what I wanted to show off a little bit with that song and making it sound. I made it sound like it was live. Like, I was actually performing it live, and there was a huge crowd cheering me on, and it was mainly because I wanted to have this, because that's a dream. Bro, that's the dream, you know what I'm saying? Like, and because that's the dream, I decided to, you know, what would it sound like? And I just decided to just put some crowds in there and mix it and reverbs and add some crazy stuff, and that's the song that came out.
Well, you definitely hit the mark with it. And it was so interesting for me to listen to. I said, man, this guy can actually get booked in any venue. It doesn't necessarily have to be a hip-hop venue. He could go to any venue and get booked. Pop, rock, country, live music festivals, you could do that. Just wanted you to know that, man. Just wanted you to know that.
Oh, I appreciate that. That's actually my whole point. I don't want anybody to be able to look at me and say, he can't fit here. Because I've always been like that, you know what I'm saying? Even in high school, I've always had this keen sense, not necessarily to fit in, but to fit in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always had this ability to fit in. And it's not, you know, I mean, because I'm a big dude, you know what I'm saying? I'm 6 foot, you know what I'm saying? I'm like 275 pounds, you know what I'm saying? So I'm a big dude. I don't necessarily like not stand out, you know? I got this wild ass hair, like you said. You noticed me from my wild ass hair and that yellow shirt I had on.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like I've always been able to fit in with the nerds, the punks, the goths, and the popular kids, the jocks, and all of that. Like I've always been able to just fit in with any group of people, and I really think it's because of my journey, I guess you could say, my quest for knowledge that I have, because I always want to learn about. Because I don't think people are fucking nasty or weird or like off, or like just because they wear all black, or just because they decide to dress like a greaser or a punk rocker. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just a lifestyle. That's not who people are. That's just what they decide to portray themselves as. It's just who they decide to be. It's not who they are. You know what I mean? And when you really get to know a lot of those folks, like, a lot of them are just like normal ass people, like just normal as fuck.
Yeah.
They just like it. They just like it. You know, is what it is. They're not all depressed like goth people. They're not all just depressed, sad, lonely people. Like, they're not. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I guess, but those kind of things, I guess, are kind of like fade out. You know, once you get older as a person, I guess they kind of fade out. You know, sometimes they don't, but a lot of the times they just fade out, and people just kind of go away. But that mentality of high school and the groups and this and that don't ever go away, sadly.
Yeah. So in Mississippi, where my first home is, their opinions of people that look like you are perceived to be tree choppers. How does 420 represent you as an artist and maybe an ambassador for the other tree people? Tree people.
Tree chopper, huh? I'm sorry. Oh, man, I had to giggle at that one now.
Yeah, man, if you wore a flannel shirt and some suspenders, dude, I think you would look the part.
Oh, I know, man, that lumberjack, you know. I own a couple of flannel shirts, too. Don't judge me. Well, I guess there's really nothing really to say about it other than it's a part of it's really just all along been a misrepresentation. You know what I'm saying? And like, in the end, it's been a misrepresentation because a lot of the times, you know, people will say, oh, it's a gateway drug. It's a gateway drug. I'm just sitting there like, no, people's life is just so shitty that marijuana is not enough to take them away from it. Period. That's all it is. I mean, because when it comes down to it, a lot of times people who do that stronger stuff, that chemical, you know, that's not, I mean, that's not, none of that other shit is natural at all. At all. None of it. And to go do that and put that in your body and knowing what it's going to do to you, but because it gets you so high and it takes you to that place, it takes you away. You feel me? And a lot of times people do it, that's the only reason they do it. There's no other reason, because people are just, they feel overwhelmed, you know? And a lot of times people just, oh man, I need a drink. Oh man, I need a drink. Oh, yeah, that's what exactly meth addicts and heroin addicts, that's exactly what they're saying, only it's about meth and heroin. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So if you sit there and say, oh man, I need a drink, you're an alcoholic, bro. Mm-hmm. Period. I don't ever say, oh man, I need to smoke. No. If I'm in a high stressful situation, I'm usually already stoned. But no, it's not like things ruin my high like that or anything like that. It's more so replaced smoking cigarettes, and it's replaced my need for, because I was actually, when I started smoking weed, I was on a spiral of depression, and I was doing a lot of shit that was like, you know, just shit that I just don't do anymore. Yeah. It was just mainly, it wasn't necessarily an escape, but when I actually started smoking marijuana, it really helped balance me emotionally and mentally. You know, at that time in my life. And then I read more on marijuana and learned about it, and I learned this and learned that about cannabinoids and what really gets you high, like, you know, and when you smoke the weed and different ways to smoke it, clean ways, dirty ways, and all of this stuff. And I looked up on what happened in the past. I'm like, marijuana is like key. It seems like it's key. It's not the end all be all, but it is key to the future health of the human population. It really is. Like, what is in marijuana is key to the human health, straight up. It's not the end, but it is key. And I think that the misrepresentation started back in the past when they were just able, because all the black folks were smoking. You know what I'm saying? And they were just saying like, oh no, you smoke this. If this is legal and the white girls smoke it, they want to go have sex with all the black guys. Well, they said, you know, we know they said niggers back then, but at any rate, you know what I'm saying? They want to go have sex with all the black guys and do their jungle, you know, dance to their jungle music and blah, blah, blah. They called it jungle. They called jazz jungle music. It didn't make any sense to me, but whatever. But it was just like this big propaganda movement that was started way back in like the 30s, all the way into the 40s and shit. Like, because, you know, they were, you know, it was the hemp that was coming from the cannabis plant that was looking to replace paper. Mm-hmm. And of course, niggas is always the easy target. And that's what they did. And it was crazy to me because they did the same thing with booze. You know what I'm saying? They did the same thing with alcohol during the Prohibition. They did the same thing with alcohol. And alcohol actually has positive properties as well. With moderate usage, light to moderate usage, you know what I'm saying? It has positive effects on the human health. And I'm like, if alcohol can be this way, I definitely know cannabis is that way. I mean, yeah. They have people with Parkinson's disease, like when they have their little seizures or their fits, you know what I'm saying? Their shake seizures when they start doing that shit. They've had dudes who ingested cannabis oil, and within like a minute, their symptoms of shaking, it's all completely stopped. And it's the cannabinoid oil. It's the cannabinoids within the cannabis plant that fixed him for that moment in time. You know what I mean? And if it can help on that actual mental level, like, because Parkinson's is not a joke. That's like some actual that's actual some neurons messed up in your brain type shit. Like, there's some messed up stuff in your head. And it's the same with Alzheimer's, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And cannabis is actually affecting. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Like, how can you ignore the positive effects that cannabis is having on these people who are really messed up? How can you ignore this? You know, you can't ignore that shit. And it's happening more and more. And it's even they even tried it with what was the other one? I think they want to, I think, or they're gonna try it on people with Tourette's. Mm-hmm. Because some people have Tourette's so bad where they just shake uncontrollably as well, where they do shit, say shit like they don't need to be saying. There was this one thing I read where this chick was from Australia, and she had it so bad to where she would punch walls. You know what I'm saying? And literally hurt herself because she would spasm so bad. And this was on an actual news thing, so I mean, it couldn't have been fake because it was Australia covering it. You know, it's American news I usually tend not to trust. But damn, I just can't help it, can I? But at any rate, I really believe cannabis. It's a big key, and I think it's not only the paper industry that wanted it. You know what I'm saying? Because pharmaceuticals were getting stronger as well. Because morphine had come out and all the other shit. So pharmaceuticals were pushing off. And if people found out the positive effects, because they did a lot of testing with cannabis during the 30s and the 40s. Oh, they were testing the shit out of it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, like crazy. So they knew the effects it had, and they knew the positive effects it had. And if that were to get out, you know what I'm saying? Pharmaceuticals would get in trouble. And marijuana can literally replace antidepressants. Straight up.
Yeah.
Depression is an overused diagnosis, and ADHD and ADD are probably more than likely bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I believe those are people who are just moving faster than the current programs that are provided.
Yeah.
They're getting bored, dude. You're getting bored. I got bored, like, real easy. Like, once I figured some shit out and I realized I know how to do it, I got bored. Like, how dare you make me keep learning this? I get bored. And I ended up acting out. And they thought I had ADHD. You know what I'm saying? I was on Ritalin. I was on that. And let me tell you, it was that shit's not fun. It's not, it doesn't make you feel balanced. It makes you, like, docile. Like, I was obedient. I was more cooperative or whatever. And I felt like I had no choice. Like, it wasn't me. It was like, I don't know, man. It made me feel like more depressed. It made me feel depressed. And I'm like, this shit, so I stopped taking it. I didn't tell nobody. I just stopped taking it. I was like, when I'm supposed to take it, I throw it in the trash and I just act good.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, dude. I didn't like the way it made me feel, so I didn't take it anymore. I couldn't. I didn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
Of course, they thought I got better. Blah 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 blah. You know, the case, whatever. Anyway. So yeah, right. Cannabis is misrepresentation, man. All it is.
Oh yeah, I believe it. Matter of fact, it's still not legal in my state, so yeah, it's still a battle we're fighting. All right. So
they'd rather oh no, my bad. No, I was just gonna say they'd rather pick up dudes on marijuana than actually put people in jail who need to be put in jail.
Yeah, it's crazy. So my bearded brother from another musical mother. I'm a bearded guy myself. My last time that I was clean shaven was for my last regular 9 to 5 job before I left it all behind for this music and podcast stuff, and that was about 3 years ago. When was the last time you were clean shaven, and is there anything that will make you shave off what you have now?
Last time I was clean shaven, when was that? Oh, yeah, there was an incident. I was kind of forced to. There was an incident. My beard would be longer, but I was forced to shave it like a couple of years ago, like 2-3 years ago.
Oh wow.
I was forced to shave it because there was an incident with something that I used on my face. I'm guessing. I guess I used like the wrong thing on my beard, obviously, and I ended up with big old bald spots on my face.
Ooh.
So I was like, oh no, that's not a good look. Not a good look. And it wasn't like, there's like, there's like some stubble that, like, no, there was no stubble. It was like burnt off. It was like, wow, smooth as a baby's butt. And I was just like, what the hell did I use? And I couldn't recall, so I just threw everything out and I bought new shit. And I decided to just shave it all off because I had to. Like, this is not working. I can't cover it up. So I shaved it all off and took some years off of me, apparently. And the last time, I don't think anything would be able to. Well, the last time I actually cut my hair was probably 2010 or 11. Yeah, it was 2010. That was the last time I ever cut my hair. So it's been growing since then. And then I don't know if anything would make me. I mean, I might switch up my beard style, maybe clean it up. I don't know if I'd lose the hair. I'm a little attached to my hair.
Yeah.
I'm a little attached to my hair, and plus I think it kind of adds to my persona a little bit. You know, the whole Leo Wilde thing. You know, and I got the crazy hair, and you know what I mean. I kind of like my hair. You know, I mean, it gets in the way sometimes. You know, I'm trying to eat and stuff, and I'm getting beard hair in my mouth. You know, and I'm like, oh, come to me. You know, I'm like, well, I got to keep it trimmed, so I got to trim my mustache. So, you know, I'm not trying to eat hair and shit, but I don't know if anything will make me do it. I mean, unless you pay me a lot of money, sure, I'll shave. You know what I mean? I mean, but I mean, honestly, no. I don't think there's anything that would really make me want to. I like my hair. I like it. I don't know. I like it. It's me.
Yeah. All right, man. You seem like a pretty real person up in front, you know, with everything, you know, especially from what I've seen and heard. Traits I admire greatly. I also appreciate the honesty and how you're ready and willing to take on any question that I have for you. So here's a random one for you, because I don't think you're afraid to go after dark topics, and I usually don't get that all the time with my guests. But what do you think your friends might say about you at your funeral? Like, how would you be remembered by them on this day?
A talented, shifty fatty with a big ass beard. That's what I think. Because everybody thinks I have talent. People always tell me that. You know what I'm saying? And so I think people would say I was talented. What I think they would say is a talented, shifty, a talented, shifty teddy bear, pretty much. And the reason I say shifty is because I have a lot of the times, like, because I'm not getting paid for stuff, I'll be slow with things, like on purpose, because they're not paying me. So I'm like, I know it's kind of an asshole thing, but at the same time, it's also kind of an asshole thing to continue to get free work for me, and it never, ever, 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 ever really paid me anything. And $20 here and there, or a sack here and there, like, bro, no. Yeah. Like, no. It's like, I you know what I'm saying? When I feel undervalued, I become shifty. And a lot of people I've worked with recently, you know what I'm saying? They just, a lot of my friends would say that, because a lot of people I work with, a lot have been friends. You know what I'm saying? So, they've been friends I've worked with. So they would say that because I've always done shit for free. But in the end...
Let me ask you this. Is that a concept of yours, for friends to get free work? Because I think that is a constant battle, like, should you charge friends and family members?
It is a constant battle. You want my opinion on that?
Yeah.
I believe you should pay your goddamn fucking friend.
Yeah.
I believe that if you really support them, you really believe in what they're doing, you're gonna pay for the work that they do.
Or at least half price.
There's no, yeah, even if it's, you know what I'm saying, even if it's at half price, you know what I'm saying, but you're gonna pay them something. And it's not necessarily, you can't expect blah blah without giving free blah blah. And I'm like, bro, it ain't even about that, bro. If you really supported me, believed in me, and really liked if you really liked and believed in what I was doing, you would support me in the manner in which I'm asking. You know what I mean? And a lot of the times, it's like, the problem I run into is they always just think that they have some kind of special thing or whatever, like, oh, well, I'm special because I'm family. Okay, yes, you are family, and you are a good friend. Yes, you are that. But this is my job. Okay, this is my career. I'm doing this for a living. Okay? This is my income. Or at least I want it to be. You know what I'm saying? Or wherever stage you are in your artistry or your craft or whatever. If you want this to be your career, your job, your livelihood, then you have to tell people that. And you will see you will see in the end, friend, family, or otherwise, you will see who really supports you. Period.
Every time.
You will. And I'm just like, pay me. I'll charge you half price. I mean, I'll give you a discount, but pay me, bruh. Pay me for my time. And literally it is my time. Because if you asking for my time for free, I could be making money during that time. But I'm dealing with this for free. And and the reason I'm so like, it's because it's fresh in my mind, this whole opinion, because it is my opinion. A lot of people may disagree, but at the same time, if this is the career that the person that you love wants, why wouldn't you support them? Doesn't make any sense. If you actually have love for them, why wouldn't you support? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's real fresh in my head, because, like I said, curveballs, you know what I'm saying? And it's funny that you asked that. that's literally the issue that I've just ran into just recently. It's literally the issue, the debacle I've had. That's the struggle I've just had to deal with, you know what I'm saying? And I've had to come to that conclusion because I'm tired of not being paid. Like, I need to move out of my current situation. I need to move forward. And people not paying me for what I'm trying to do with what I take seriously is really not the business for me.
Yeah.
Not the business.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I just kind of got that from like how you were, answering certain questions. I was like, well, this may be an issue, because a lot of artists and struggle with this because they don't put a price tag on their work, or maybe how they say a price tag on the friendship. Like if you're a friend, you will pay. You would probably even give a tip, or maybe even do half price at least. Like I'm being busy or friends. You think he's gonna charge me? Hell, fuck yeah, full price sometimes.
Yeah,
full price. And it's because that's his work, that's his livelihood. Why would I not support it? And not only are we friends, but he's also like inspiration. Why would I not support that? That'd be crazy. What kind of friend am I to say, no, I don't think you're worth it? What?
Yeah, exactly. That's that's the way I see it. That's exactly the way I see it when someone tries to get something for free from me, on something they know is my career and my job. Like, this is my title, bro. You know what I'm saying? And and for them to think it's not worth, like, I'm not worth paying that. I'm like, well, it kind of makes me look at you like an asshole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I gotta rethink this friendship here.
Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and that's what that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I've had to do recently, and that's what's really, that's why it's so fresh in my head. I've recently had to deal with that, and and sometimes when you realize, like, people are just using you,
mm-hmm.
And I had to be done with it, and then that's, and then I just, stressful shit.
Yeah, stressful. All right, so let's get back to some music. All right, so I'm a huge fan of the Greatest of All Time summer tape, as you may not know, and I'm just as anxious to dig into the hugeness that's going to come in from the new album, as well as the shift in sound direction or transitions, because I think you're steadily evolving, like with each track, with each project. I see the evolution there, as you as a producer and artist. So you attack songs that are with mighty performances and powerful parts that seriously hit the mark every time. Giant atmospheres, huge vocals, memorable songs, still processing all the emotions and feelings you must have had during those recording sessions. It must have been like nearly impossible to contain it all. And, I just think it's, took a lot of, strength and courage to finish those records with such, personal material and deliver it with the power it deserved. I think people will recognize the new album for what it is, knowing that you went after every song on that record with everything that you got. So give us the title of this new album, if you mind sharing that secret, and how did you get around the toughest moments during those recording process?
Well, the title of the album is actually called The Dark Love.
Cool.
It's actually named after one of the songs on the album called The Dark Love, and it's mainly, the song itself is mainly an introduction to me, pretty much. I'm literally like telling you, like, hey, you don't know me. Hi, I literally open off the song like, hi, you don't know me. And that's okay. And I'm okay with that. Just give me a couple of verses and we're going to change that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I do 2 verses in the song. So, it's available on SoundCloud. You know what I'm saying? But the name of the album is called The Dark Love. And it's mainly about how love itself can become dark because love can interfere with a lot of things. Love itself can interfere. Love itself can interfere with self-progression, self-reliance, independence. It can interfere with success. It can interfere with failure. It could interfere with, you know what I'm saying? It could interfere with anything. And that's why I called it The Dark Love. because it interferes more so negatively than in a positive way. Because a lot of the times, it's just a bunch of fake love running around. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I firmly believe that's why Drake wrote that song, because there's just a lot of fake love going around because people just throw the word love around. You know what I'm saying? Like they like when you're referring to a person and you're referring to them, and when you say I love you to somebody, that's supposed to mean something. You know what I'm saying? And if you actually have love for somebody, that's supposed to mean something. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the times, it's just a bunch of bullshit.
Oh yeah. Oh,
and I'm just like, whatever, dude. Anyway, so that's why I named the album that. You know what I mean? The album's gonna contain a lot of some anger, but I approach it in a comical way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I hate this and I hate that. You know what I mean? It's more so things that it's pretty much what I'm struggling through right now. The whole process to get it recorded was just, it was longer than I really wanted it to be, because there was a lot of fallbacks and there was a lot of times where I couldn't bring myself to record anything. I couldn't bring myself to make no beats or anything like that. And I was just, you know what I'm saying? I was a little unstable, you know what I'm saying? But luckily, I have my woman, you know what I'm saying, to help me out. And a lot of the times, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it wasn't for her, you know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for my lady, dude, I literally would be. I'd probably still be stuck doing bullshit in the same, like, you know what I mean? And it was almost like I was in a daze and she snapped me out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And made me realize there's a lot of people around me who are they really are just using me. And they are just riding on that friend train. They're riding on that family train. They're riding on that train, and she showed me, and that's how I was able to come up with. That's pretty much how I was able to come up with The Dark Love. That's how I was able to come up with, shit. Hell nah literally, like, it literally became from a conversation that me and her had about, it's like it was literally based on a conversation me and her had about how people keep coming to me for free this, free that, free this, free that, or, you know what I'm saying, or they just don't, they're like, what they're coming to you for. What are you doing? Like, this is your job. Ain't this your job? Ain't this your job? Ain't this your job? You know what I mean? Like, in my ear like that. And it's not necessarily nagging, because she's right. I wasn't getting paid. Wasn't getting paid. I was doing this shit. I'm 29 years old. I was doing this since I've been producing since I was 10, been singing since I was 19, and rapping since I was 21. So, like, why am I not getting paid?
Yeah.
And a big part of the recording process was a struggle, because I was at my own impasse, a brick wall, and I wanted to release more music, and I wanted to release the album earlier this year, like around April, last month, April. I wanted to release it in April, but I had to push it back, because just, like I said, that's how recent the shit is.
Yeah.
But yeah, because of that, I got all these new songs and albums coming together. Now it's like, okay, I can move forward now. I don't have this weight on me now, just weighing me down with this free shit. This obligations, things I'm making obligations for that I'm not getting paid for, and this is my career. And now that I've taken care of that and nipped that in the bud, it's like, you know what I mean? I've been able to move forward since I've literally made that decision. Like, like, okay.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why it kind of led to this interview.
Definitely. Yep. Perfect timing. All right, man. So, final question, kind of a request, really. So, I've mentioned, and you've heard it, I'm a huge fan of yours, and I literally, as I write this, still in kind of disbelief that my own path has led me to talk to such a fantastic creative mind along the way, and even stand in front of you as you performed on stage at Liquid Zoo. I'm still mad at AC Killer, though. I'm going to have to call him for real. Like, yo, why did you keep doing it? So now you're a producer, artist, publisher, Aquaman. I have personally followed and have mad respect for you. The details of, like, just everything that has happened from you from 10 up to now. Like, we have so much in common, and nothing is short of astonishing about your life, you know, and putting all those pieces together. Still, I'm hoping you can appreciate this form, or from, you know, my perspective, like mine. We're just trying to grasp this, like, whole interview. It's been a real event for me. I guess what I want to ask you now, Leo, is will you commit to doing one of the Skeptics talk shows with us, or even open up, you know, to doing some voiceover comedy for our other show called Hated It? Hope that you know, please consider our standing offer. Skeptics is a show where we just talk about anything, you know, under the sun, like Masonic temples and aliens and comic books and all kind of weird stuff for, you know, people like us. And Hated It is just a movie review show where my partner from No Longer Here, we just talk about movies we don't like, and then we do voice-over comedy and skits. So hopefully you can, you know, join us for those things.
Oh man, I'd be really happy to throw you something, bruh.
All right. You already got the practice going. Cool deal.
I've been doing voices since I was 15, man.
Dope. All right, so after the music break, it'll be time for our usual tradition. It is called the hot seat, and our fans love this part of the segment, and of course, along with the actual interview, but the audience get to hear either some vocals, poem, inspirational speech, written work, spoken word, freestyle rap, lyrics, jokes, stories. Maybe he can crank out a live instrument from our special guest. Well, you never know what these creative minds and vessels will produce in the spotlight, and today we'll find out if Leo Wilde have what it takes to be put on the spot, a test of his true artistry, and maybe even some hidden talents. So in the meantime, we have a song from Leo Wilde. It's called Right Here. So let's get to it.
Oh well. You thought love was harmless, but it screws you regardless. Praying to the gods that you can guard it, but it only makes you a target. What you gonna do? Your face is like Niagara Falls. Come on, bro, the world isn't over until it falls. But ignorance is bliss, I suppose, until you try to move forward and realize you can't do both. All along, I was too stupid and depressing, yeah. I'm just gonna drown in this bottle of Jack in hopes of regression. For if tomorrow comes and I'm still alive, best believe I will be alright. I will awake with hell right behind. Oh yeah. My dark thoughts will come to fruition. All I need's one more light to bust the mission. But ignorance is bliss, I suppose, until you try to move forward and realize you can't do both. Dreams of foreign cars, living life in the stars. Paper chasing it raw with this right here. Stepping up to a mall, deliver the shock and all. We just popping them all right here. We just all alone, trying to raise the bar. Telling them we ain't playing with this right here. Listen to the dawn, try to play along, or you could end up drunk like this right here. Everybody's wildin' out, every soul is going down. I don't even really know what that's about. I'm just waiting in line with a can full of beer, trying to get into the can so I can make room for more beer. You always been a snake, dried and cracked. When you eat and reveal the truth, you peel back. Yeah, I'm talking in my home with no windows open. You want me to spit some truth because I'm outspoken. Let me tell you one thing about the flow though. Try to copycat, man, it's a no-no. If you start with us, you need to roll though. But you got the greenness to pay the veto. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Break it out, bro.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Come sign this here.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Cause we wait out. Whoa, 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 whoa. Found out we way out. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's when you laid out. That's when we way out. That's cause we way out. Dreams of foreign cars, living life in the stars. Paper chasing it raw with this right here. Stepping up to a mall, deliver the shock and all. We just popping them all right here. We just all alone, trying to raise the bar, telling them we ain't playing with this right here. Listen to the dawn, try to play along, or you could end up drunk like this right here. Dreams of foreign cars, living life in the stars. Paper chasing it raw with this right here. Stepping up to a mall, deliver the shock and all. We just popping them all right here. We just all alone, trying to raise the bar, telling them we ain't playing with this right here. Listen to the dawn, try to play along, or you could end up drunk like this right here.
All right, we are back. That was Leo Wilde with the song Right Here. Man, that was a fabulous tune. So that was my first time listening to it along with all of you guys. And man, I'm about to jam this as soon as the show is over. That was nice. So I got an email about how to send a demo to a record label. I didn't even know people were still doing that, but I guess they are. So you recorded your demo. Now what is what you're asking? Well, now you need to get your demo in the hands of people who can help you take it to the next level. But with so many people trying to get their demos heard, how can you make sure your demo won't get lost in the shuffle and sent out in those media packages? Like you go to a radio station and they'll just give you a whole bunch of CDs, and that's all of the demos that they get from people who send into their show. So I have one step I'll share with you today. If you want the rest, you have to tune in for the rest of the podcast on other days. I think we have one tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. All right, so number one thing is to always do your research. Before you start sending your demo, you need to compile a list of labels who might be interested in hearing it. Sending your hip-hop demo to an indie rock label is a waste of your time and a waste of your money. So, like, what kind of bands or artists do you like? What labels are they signed to? What labels deal with the kind of music you play? Spend some time online researching artists you consider to be similar to yourself and the labels that work with them. And that's where I want you to start, right there. Don't send irrelevant music to a irrelevant label. That's a waste of time, okay? All right, so for more of that, tune in for tomorrow's podcast, and we will give you pointer number 2. Let's bring back Leo Wilde. All right, Leo, you are back in the mix with us. What do you have for us today?
Oh man. I just got this little, I guess you'd call it a little spoken word thing, I guess.
Okay.
Kind of just something, I guess, I'm just, laying around. I haven't really used it. Just been here. It's just a little. Anyway, it's just pretty much representing, this little thing. Just my feelings of the last couple of months. All right. Life hits you fast. It's a speeding bus crash. No Keanu Reeves or Sandra Bullock. Oh, damn. I do this shit like surgery. 4 snips. Snap. Pick a bar, any bar. How about that? I'm a techie internet fraud that's all lost and all its cost. I'm so cold I was covered in frost. Consequences of a cold shoulder folded over. Tuned to the current events, I swear the world's already over. I don't know if I'd say that I'm righteous. I got that negative predisposition it is, so I'm tainted with that blatant influence. Creeping and enjoying all the torture all before the silence. Let me show you why I play the siren. All I know is life is a song called No One Is Hiring. What are the chances or odds of me coming out firing? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's it.
Dope. That was cool. All right, man. Let everybody know where they can connect with you at.
People can connect with me on Facebook, Leo Wilde. You know what I'm saying? You can connect with me on my fan page, Official Leo Wilde. You connect me on Instagram, leo-wilde-music. Pretty much Leo Wilde anywhere, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you can Google me, Leo Wilde, I come up, you know what I'm saying? My website, leo-wilde-music.com. You can contact me, ask me questions or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Check out my latest music, you know what I'm saying? I got a blog, you know, you can follow that as well. So, I mean, you could pretty much reach me anywhere, just on anything, pretty much. I'll be there, waiting, like a creeper, doing the creep.
And guys, while you're stalking him, make sure you check out his Gobble Gobble music video. Super dope. You won't be disappointed.
Oh yeah. That little one take I did. That was only $100, man.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, to just film that, or
no, to film it. It was only $100. Like that was it.
Cool.
And I shot that actually on the 7th Street Bridge downtown. And I always wanted to do a one take, and it actually came out good. I was actually really happy with that video.
Yeah, that was dope for $100. Man. And it came out nice.
Yeah, I was actually really impressed with how it came out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know the guy. It was some Craigslist ad that I was like, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
I need a video. Let me see what happens. And it came out good. I was actually impressed.
Yeah, that was dope.
Like, yeah.
You never know. Dini may just end up on a song with Leo. I do it all, my friends.
Thank you, my Vigilantes family, as always, for checking out my podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio. All episodes are available for free download, and you can grab it from either Spreaker.com/only1media group, iTunes, YouTube, the app called Podcast Addict, or our website, which is only1mediagroup.com, and that goes for every single show that we've ever aired. If you'd like to request music or send something for us to play, email it to vradio@only1mediagroup.com. Here's my disclaimer. We are genre-free, we do not judge, and we absolutely do not base our opinions on hearsay, but facts alone. And actually, you can scratch all of that because all of my opinions are always right. That's the bottom line. This is my show. Something you got to deal with. Nah, just kidding. On behalf of myself, dini-mussolini, I appreciate you guys for tuning in either afterwards or live with us. Spread the word because sharing is caring. And also special thanks to our guests for joining us. We stepped up our game just for you guys and our guests to make sure you have the best experience here on our show. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Tumblr. We are all over. Just connect with us and we do follow back. Okay, well, just remember to be yourself and be absolutely freaking great at just doing that. Peace.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.onlyonemediagroup.com. This is a Seventh Sign Regime Rebirth Worldwide Syndicate exclusive.